Hey, my name is Vincent Hayes. This is real people, real situation, and real talk. And this is my story.
Good evening, family. Man, it's a blessing to be back with y'all this afternoon with real people, real situations, and real talk. And man, it's been a few months since we've done one of these videos, and man, it's just amazing going into 2020 and all the great things that the Lord has in store for this ministry and our church. Today I got my brother Vince Hayes with us tonight, just to share a little bit about his story and just where God's taken him from, through the valleys that he's been through in his life, and just man, where God's put him on top of that mountain, and just being able to have this ministry, Stand Firm Ministries, that he's got, and I just let Vince share a little bit about it and himself. Vince, tell him a little bit about yourself, man.
Oh, okay. My name is Vincent Hayes. I am originally from Laura, Mississippi. And first, I want to thank you, man, for inviting me here to Real People, Real Situation, and Real Talk. It's an honor to just sit before the people and tell them what God have did.
Right.
For my life just as well as your life. But like I said, I'm from Laura, Mississippi. I was born in Laura, Mississippi. I grew up in a little small town called Paulden, Mississippi, man, right outside of Newton, Mississippi.
Right.
You know, and I grew up around that way. And man, that we was just some old country people down off in there, man. Just like to have fun and man. And my grandmother, man, my great grandmother, she brought us up in the church. You know, man. We had it was like a Hayes community down there.
Hayes community.
Yeah, the Hayes community. And our church was, matter of fact, our church was the Hayes Chapel. You know what I'm saying, man? Yeah. And my grandma used to get up and minister there, man, and all some of my kin peoples, man, and man, we was faithfully.
So you saw people being ministered
to
at a young age.
At a young age, I really
Right.
did. And man, we were faithfully in church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my mom, she was in and out. She was in my life, but man, she was always moving here and moving there,
Right.
and so I always kind of stayed behind with my great grandmother, and I had my cousins there. We was, like I said, we was in this
Right.
little subdivision, I guess you can
And
call it.
your own little community.
In our own little community, man,
Right.
playing with our homemade dump trucks and
Right.
dirt trucks and whatever, But we was always, into baseball. My uncle Levelle, he always played baseball. I had a lot of folks play baseball there, and we just always go to the baseball games and have fun during the weekdays and weekends or whatever.
Right.
And man, it's and man, we used to go have a little farm down there too, and raise chickens and hogs.
So you
and
know
just
all about the farm.
yeah, man, that's what we used to do. But doing all that, man, and doing all my growing up there, man, we also, when I guess I was around maybe 8, 9 years old,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But we started going in, a lot of my cousins and stuff, uncles and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You should drink and, you know what I'm saying, have a look, have parties here. And we always, it was like this, man. If you're 9, 10 years old, they got an adult party, man, we always was there.
You was trying to slip in.
We was slipping in.
Right.
And while they were slipping in, man, when some walk off and leave a beer right there, hey, we'll sneak in and drink some of
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that the devil was setting me up
That's right.
with that, And so, man, I went to school up at Heidelberg High School. Well, elementary school was Southside Elementary, and man, I kept getting in a lot of trouble there, man. You know what I'm saying? Kept getting in. Used to be that one child, that one boy. Young start, man. People start calling me Purple Haze, and Purple Haze is Purple Haze that. You know what I'm saying? And that name started sticking to everything that I do.
Right.
Everything that I've done. You know
So
what I'm
it was
saying?
no longer no longer Vincent anymore. Purple Haze.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, that's right, man. And you know what I'm saying, that Hayes boy, he always getting in
Hayes.
trouble. You know, Hayes boy always this, he always that. And man, so like I said early in my childhood, 9, 10 years old, Justin, man, I started sipping good beer, and my mama was, I guess you can call her, was a, bless her heart, may she rest in peace. I guess she drank a lot. You know what I'm saying, not a lot, but she drank.
More like a social.
Yeah, it's like a social
drinker.
drinker. You know what I'm saying, me and man, and she'll leave a gin bottle or something around now,
Right.
taste it, and man, it started getting. As I grow up and as I was growing up,
liking
I started liking it. Usually, like I said, you just go to the ball games, and man, we go to the ball games, and now I'm in the teens now, man. So
Right.
hey, it's okay to have a beer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I thought, you know what I'm saying, it's okay. So, you know, start drinking as an early age, maybe 12, 13 years old, you know what I'm saying, going to the ball games, hanging out around, you know, riding horses and stuff. Man, it was just, we thought it was all fun, Justin. You know, so on time goes on, man. So me and my mom met a man named Johnny Ray Campbell. He played with the Oakland A's back in 1979, 78, man. And she played with, she dated him and they got married, man. And, you know, time goes on. And I was, I had a step family, man, out of Lewin, Mississippi. I don't know, about maybe 35, 40 minutes, maybe closer, where I was raised at. And my step family, man, I love them peoples to death right now today. You know, my grandma, it was my Grandma Roberta, and man, we always call him Jay Bird, you know what I'm saying? Man, that was my papa. And man, you know, and man, you know, they practically raised me. You know what I'm saying? And they and when I moved from over there, from Paulden to Lewin, Mississippi, you know, and I still, now I got some younger step uncles, you know what I'm saying? And we close now, man. We really close, and we doing things that typical teenagers do, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, my grandma and my granddaddy used to bootleg. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And man, it started again. You know what I'm saying? We used to steal some of Papa's whiskey and drink it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, you want to know something? And then we tried to fill it up with water. And we used to break the seal of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You already done broke the seal of the gin, and now we done put it up with water, man.
Right.
And then, that's the enemy was setting us up
That's
right
it.
there. Didn't even know
He
no
was
better.
planting that seed.
He was
already.
planting that seed then, Justin. And you know, life went on, man, and my mama moved to Oakland, California, and so I was kind of left behind with the step family right there, but a few months, and then I moved to Oakland, California, man. I guess I'm still in the 13, 14 years old age or whatever, so I get up there, man, with my stepfather, man. Love that guy to death. May he rest in peace. And I get up there, man, and same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Now that man right there was a man of, he wanted me to grow up to be a young man, a responsible man, but it was my choice, you know what I mean,
Right.
what I've done.
you was doing.
But after school, man, you know, and go in, get my homework. I had met a little friend, man, and we sit out there in the park, you know what I'm saying, me playing, you know, cops and robbers and, you know what I'm saying, me gang bangers and all this, and growing up in Oakland, California for them few years, man, I met some peoples, you know what I'm saying, me, it was really they was in it. They was in it, and I liked what they was in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, me. So me and my other friend that we started socializing with them guys, started smoking pot. You know what I'm saying? Me started drinking real heavy, and that situation got pretty tough. And so my mama told me, hey, you have to get on back to Mississippi. You know, so you know, me move back to Mississippi with your grandmama now. I moved back down there. Now I got a taste of this life right now, man.
Oh yeah, now you done brought the city life
Man, I
back
got
on.
this city life now, you know what I mean? Old
Right.
country boy like me. You know, a country boy like me, I got this city life in me now. So I'm finna take this, what I done learned, to another situation, to somebody else.
Right.
You know, so I go back down to my mom's house, my grandma, and so we lived in a little place called Heidelberg, Mississippi, and I started going to school, like I said, going to school down there, and man, you know, started getting in trouble, man. I'm talking about constantly trouble. You know what I'm saying? Grades wasn't good, you know what I'm saying, but then back and forth, moving back and forth over to Lewin, Mississippi. Went to Holabird School, then went to Bay Springs School, and so I started doing I started getting on track a little bit because my grandmama and them my auntie and them was, they was putting a wedge on me a little bit. And so I calmed down a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? When we were going to school, and also, man, we had to go haul paperwood. Yeah, pulpwood, man.
Pulpwood,
yeah. We had to. My granddad was faithful. My uncle and them were faithfully making us go to work, making us do things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like as a man. So I kind of pulled back from them activities what I was telling you about, and started playing football, man, and started playing baseball and stuff like that around the school. And man, I got pretty good at it. You know what I'm saying? I started liking it, man, and I started enjoying that. And man, and years went on. I mean, a few months went on by, and I fell back into that rut. And now I'm drinking, playing baseball, playing football. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now I've got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? In school and getting suspended from school, man. And man, just life just went on, and man. So years passed on by, man. I just quit. You know what I'm saying? I quit going, man. I got tired. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I gave up on life. You know what I'm saying? Started doing my own thing. I got this now. I don't need nobody. I got this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was the worst mistake of my life. Man, once I quit school and once I say I'm going to get my GED and I'm going to do it like this, and my family, they still was there for me, though. You know what I'm saying? They still was telling me, Vincent, you need to get in church. You need to do this, get your life back right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, God got more for you than this right here. Right. And man, going to the skate rings. You know how I was going to the skate rings and partying and coming back home, sneaking in, sneaking out. You know what I mean? Right. And man, so my mom, man, somewhere in that story, my mom moved down to Laura, Mississippi, where I was born at. Right. And man, that's when it started right there, man. I can remember just like, man, I tried to ask God to remove this one thought out of my head, Justin. Man, 1985, man, I can remember the first night I started freebasing cocaine. 1985 on a Saturday night at a Brown Circle Apartments.
I was 2 years old then.
Man, my cousin introduced me to freebasing cocaine, man. I tell you, we were freebasing cocaine and drinking peppermint Schnapps. Man, look, man, that right there turned my life upside down. Man. And man, I'm not bragging about that, man. I'm not at all, but it turned my life upside down.
That was the changing point.
That was the changing point in my life. So now I done got introduced to this stuff, and then he was affiliated with the street gang. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, he initiated me into the street gang. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when he initiated me into the street gang, man, look here, I just started blossoming up into sin, man. Right. Things just started happening. I started doing things of the flesh, and man, so I started, like I said, in '85, I started freebasing, man, cocaine for a whole year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, running around robbing people's, man, just taking stuff, breaking in folks' houses and doing crazy stuff, and got in a little trouble right there. Excuse me. But then around in '86, man, 1986, my mama told me, she said, look, man, you're going to get yourself together or you going to the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody going to no penitentiary. So in 1986, I went up to Batesville Job Corps Center, man. I went up there to try to, get my life together, you know what I'm saying? And once I went up there, man, it ain't nothing. It got worse. I fell in there, man, because it was the gangs was there, the drinking was there, the girls was there. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I'm new.
I just opened a whole nother door.
Another door, man. Right. And I got to drinking heavier and heavier. But guess what? I wasn't doing the cocaine no more. I wasn't studying that no more. I got introduced to the heavy drinking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I started fighting and gang banging and whatever you want to call it, Right. And I got into that, man, and one night, man, in 1986, in this story here, we got into a situation at the gym, and man, look, man, I caught my first felony charge at that place, man. I caught an arson charge. I caught an arson charge, man. I caught the place afire, man, and I was drunk, I was high, and I was trying to, you know, get revenge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I caught the room afire, and what people was in, and I got that was my first charge and man, God was there at the same time. I'm going to show you something, man, because I went to jail. They took me to jail, Justin, man, and man, what a horrible time that was. Oh my God, bologna sandwich every day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm young, man. I can handle, ain't no but young people's at this place anyway. We in a little jail cell or whatever. But anyway, man, just eating. Man, it opened my eyes up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right there. And so I guess I stayed up there for a whole week, man, in that jail. And so my attorney came and told me, say, look, this the deal. This is the deal. The Job Corps Center said they're gonna drop all charges on you. Well, no, they're gonna let you go home, but you cannot go to another Job Corps Center in the United States of America. He said it's a serious charge. So they said we're gonna drop the charges and we're gonna just let you go. Wow. Yeah, blessing right there.
That's a blessing, then. Yeah.
Blessing right there, man. Maybe 17 years old, first felony charge, man, that's an arson charge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but God was in there. So that all that stuff got washed away. And my mom, man, I called my mom and let her know that I done got kicked out, broke her heart and everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and man, and there, you know, later on, man, my oldest daughter, man, right now, she's down in Lawrence, Mississippi, and maybe 87, 88, 89. 89 she was born, you know what I'm saying? I mean, man, and I thought that was going to change my life, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but it didn't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I still ran with the peoples of my addiction. I got back into that addiction, and I started running with them. And man, so I got back into that gang banging. I got back into the street gang. I got back into trying to sell drugs and trying to be cool and trying to be you know, accepted. And I started using more than I was selling. And man, I got addicted to this thing. I'm getting older and I'm getting addicted. So all I wanted to do was get high, Justin. And you know what I mean?
Have more and more.
More and more and more and more and more. And I started getting out my character deeper and deeper and deeper. Started robbing people, started breaking into people's homes, and started doing things that, man, just the only thing, selfish. I just wanted to get high. I don't care who got hurt in the process.
Whatever you had to do to get that next high.
The next high. And so 1992, 93, I caught an armed robbery. No, back up. I caught a burglary charge of a business up in Jackson, Mississippi. And this was during my addiction time. This would led me up to my incarceration point. And man, God, it was bad, Justin, man. Living in Jackson when didn't know nobody, sleeping where I needed, just sleeping wherever I could, man. Didn't care, man. Barely eating, sleeping.
Just wanting to get high.
Just wanted to get high, man. Just wanted to get high. And man, you know, so, and I guess it was, like I said, 92, 93, I caught that burglar charge of business. They gave me 13 months in the county. I think it was 13 months I did up there in Jackson, Mississippi, 13 months. And so when I did that, I did them 13 months in that jail cell, man. I can remember, man, God was telling me, man, you come, I'm here, son. I'm waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I went in as a gangbanger, as a organization member, as you know what I'm saying. I mean, and I didn't know these people's up in this jail, man. I was way from home, so I had to hold up for my reputation. You know, I had to hold up for my reputation. So I get into more activities right there, but God was still calling me when I get alone by myself. God was still, you know, calling me. and it's quite funny, man. And they had a 2-man sale there, and I was there with another older guy, and he pulled me up. He said, "Young blood, this ain't even you." He said, "Man, you eat this." And he introduced me to the Bible, you know what I'm saying, which I already knew about it. But I always came up, man, a Holy Spirit filled family, man. My family, what I was telling you about, man, they right now today, man.
Still the same way.
Man, look at here. They love some Jesus Christ. And man, right now today, as I drifted away from them, they still was praying for me.
Right.
And they, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why I am where I am today, because people's pray. And they ask God to help. And so, like I said, and I did those 13 months in Jackson, Mississippi, get out. I get out those 13 months. I guess that was 1994, around the beginning of 1994. Moved to Meridian, Mississippi. Didn't know nobody there. Went to a halfway house there. Went to the halfway house there, man. You know what I'm saying? We stayed clean and sober for about 3 or 4 months, man. You know, this halfway house was right in the middle of the hood, man. Yeah,
Wow.
In the middle of the hood.
Right.
So definitely in the middle of the gutter.
Right.
And so every day you gotta walk around the block for exercises and this right here, man. And man, this how the devil setting this
And
thing
you
up.
stuck right in the
Man,
he's setting it
I'm
up.
setting
You
it
stuck
up.
right in the middle
I'm
of
stuck
it.
in the middle of it, man. So I'm walking around, man, and how about this? Somebody see me and say, "Hey, Purple Haze," and I'm like, "Hey, man, what's up?" You know how I go.
Right.
He said, "Where you at?" I said, "Man, I'm over here at the halfway house." And it fall from there.
All from there.
I leave that place and go, you know what I'm saying, few days later, I leave that place and go get some dope and start selling over down there in Meridian, Mississippi. I fell for the okie doke, man.
Right.
And so, man, when I did that, Justin, man, I got back out there strung out again. I got strung out again, man. And this time, man, it was worse than it ever been. Worse than it ever been. And when I got strung out like that, man, and I caught a charge down there, man. I caught a burglar occupied dwelling. This is one night of addiction.
Has caught you another charge.
Caught me 3 charges.
3 charges.
Armed robbery, burglary of occupied dwelling, and shooting an occupied dwelling. So I get a bond. So I got this little girl, this young lady I was messing with, and she was out there doing her thing, and I was out doing my thing. But anyway, I ran from they knew who I was. People who knew I was, they want to get me locked up because I'm not from the town. They already know who I was. So I'm still out there, man, in addiction, getting high behind houses. You know how it go, man. And Justin, man, you know, man, I doing all that right there, man. Do you not know that God was still tugging on me?
Right.
And I was still
Just saying, come on home.
Yeah, come on home. I was still ignoring that. But when I got and I caught that charge and I got arrested, man, some kind of way that girl bonded me out of jail.
Wow.
Man, my bond was $50,000. And she came up with $5,000. Not $5,000, $500 to get me out of jail. And I stayed out of jail up there in Meridian for about a year. And I ran to Laurel, Mississippi. And when I ran to Laurel, Mississippi, man, I got in trouble down there.
Problems just followed you.
Problems just followed me.
The problems just followed you from Jackson to Meridian, now to Laurel.
That's right. All back over again.
All back over to home.
So get in trouble again, Justin, man. It was just and man, my daddy, man, may he rest in peace. My brothers, man, they always came by and I was out there doing my thing, and they was like, "Man, we'll go home, man." He said, "We love you, man. Come on, man, go home. You got to get it together, Vincent." And man, I wasn't studying that.
Right.
So man, time done caught up on me, man. Time for me I'm finna go to the big boy's house now.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? I mean, time done caught up, and so out of all this charge, all this Meridian charges, burglary occupied the well, and shooting occupied the well, and, you know what I'm saying, armed robbery, I got to go do some time now, Justin.
Right.
I had to go do 7.5 years on this bed, on that bed right there. So that was in I caught the charge in the end of 94, about the third month of 95 or something like that. If I got my math right, I was headed to the penitentiary with 7.5 mandatory years.
Mandatory. Damn.
7 mandatory years. This is good. The story that I'm finna tell you, you're gonna, cause you ain't never heard me say this, and you probably gonna be like, I know I was telling my friend Trey, our brother Trey, and he was like, what? But anyway, so during that incarceration, man, I'm still affiliated. You know what I'm saying? Me and I had some juice a little bit. Some of my homeboys gave me a little juice in the prison system. But anyway, time went on, years went on, and I said back in maybe 2000, Justin, man, I converted over to Islam.
Wow.
Yeah, I converted over to Islam, man. You know, I did that, and I thought it was the right thing. I really did.
I mean, did you meet up with someone in prison?
Yeah. I met up with someone in prison, man,
That converted you?
and converted me over to Islam. And man, I'm talking about, I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And man, I'm talking about, I'm doing all my 5 days prayer, and
Wow.
you know what I'm saying, me
Right.
fasting, and you know, doing things like that. Man, and you know what? This right here going to trip you out too. Me and Stephanie got married while I was incarcerated, but I was in the Islam doing at that time.
Really?
Yeah. And
So did she know this?
yeah, she knew it. Yeah, she knew
Okay.
it. She knew it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she knew it, and it was funny, man. You know. But anyway, so when man, this old man named Big Bro, and he said, Vincent, what are you doing? I don't know why God kept putting these older
men
in
to
my
tell
path.
you what did you do?
What is you doing, man? He said, we done sat down, we done drunk coffee together, we done talked, and you were raised up as a believer of Jesus Christ.
And now here you are, you done flipped to Islam.
Yeah, he said, what? He said, man, you know, I'm not ashamed to say this. He said, what is these people giving you? What is these people is doing for you that I know that what Jesus, and you know what Jesus Christ can do for you better.
Right.
And so, man, to make a long story short, I backed away from that.
Right.
I backed away from that. And like I said, me and Stephanie got married while I was up down in incarcerated, and during that time, I guess 2001, I went to Quitman County, man, and I had about a year to go home, and me and Stephanie's married right now, and she faithfully coming to see me, and I get out of prison, man, in 2001, Justin, man, and stayed clean, man, for a while, for a great while, you know what I'm saying? I mean, well, I'll tell you what, I stayed clean off cocaine for a while.
Right.
The first day I got out of prison, you know what I went to do? I went to the liquor store.
Get you something to drink.
Yeah, but it got me something to drink.
Because it's not cocaine.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not as bad
it's okay.
as that.
You know, so I can drink this beer. I can drink this.
And that's what Satan will do.
That's what Satan.
You know
That's what Satan will do to
Yeah.
us, man.
He'll say, "Oh man, you ain't got to fool with the cocaine."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so similar. My struggle was the same way.
Yeah.
Mine was pot. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I smoked it each and every day, all day long. And that's the lie that the devil would tell me.
Right.
You know, it's you come up with all these excuses why it's all right to do it, and well, I ain't harming no one. It's not crack or crystal meth
Right.
or something like that. I mean, even though that's what it led to later
Right.
on in
Right.
my life, but you find excuses for it. You know what I'm saying? And I could still go to work. I could still function. I could still drive. I thought because I can do all this and still live my daily life, it's not affecting me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And hey, it's not as bad as what so and so's doing. You know, but later on, that's what it leads up to.
But you know what though, bro? That was a different of me. I couldn't function with it, man. I got
Right.
when the devil told me to do it, I couldn't keep a job.
Right.
You know
You
what I'm
just
saying, man?
wide
I was
open.
just wide open, man. I couldn't keep no job.
Right.
And man, I started hating myself, depressed, anger. But anyway, me and Stephanie, you know what I'm saying, I get out of prison, man, and I was doing halfway good, I guess, in my mind.
Right.
In my flesh, I was doing halfway good over there in West Point, Mississippi. She had an apartment over there, doing good. She doing good.
Right.
So, man, Dad, go again. I started up over this thing over again. And my wife, I love her to death, and she was glued to me at this time, man. I mean, she was telling me, Vincent, what are you doing?
Right.
She started seeing the behavior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She ain't never been with this kind of stuff.
Right.
But she started seeing the behavior what I was doing. And Justin, man, so, you know, time went on, I started getting back out there on these drugs, and man, look at him, man. And then my wife, man, bless her heart, she met some people. She said, Vincent, these people want to meet you, and they want to start going to church. So I started going to church, and man, I started feeling good about myself. I said, man, God, this is God. He's doing stuff for me now. You know, so I can see clearly now. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I'm understanding God's word. I'm going to church every Sunday. I'm going to church every Wednesday night. And man, you know what I'm saying? I mean, our life is doing great right now. And man, all of a sudden I let go God's hand. That's what we'll do. We'll stay. You got to stay focused, Justin.
You gotta stay focused. You got to.
We got to stay focused, man. You got to stay focused, and you can't. It ain't no way that I can right now. If I leave you right here, we get done with this right here. If I don't take God with me, man, and I get into self, it's over with.
Right. You'll be right back in that.
Be
same
right
mess.
back at that. I don't care if I've been clean 20 years, but if you got to keep God first,
Right.
and I wasn't doing that. So what happened was, man, I got back out there again, Justin. My wife moved from West Point. We moved from West Point, moved to Aberdeen. My wife got a house and buying a house, man. I started working for a construction company, doing good. Started hanging around with the guys in the construction company, drinking beer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Me smoking weed, popping pills. You know what I'm saying? Me getting back in that same rut.
routine. Yeah.
Same routine, man. Same routine. So we're in Aberdeen, Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now, you know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed to say what I done, man.
Right.
I'm not ashamed because at the end of this video, and then
Right.
people will know who's
Right.
in charge of
That's
this.
right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You'll know who's in charge of our life.
Right.
So, man, as time went on, man, I started back drinking, started back popping pills, started doing things. Had a nice job, man.
Right.
Had a nice home. Had a nice family.
But this addiction
But
had
this
you.
addiction, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my daughter, my stepdaughter, Colada, she was in my life, you know what I'm saying? And it was just me, Stephanie, and Colada, you know?
Right.
And we was a little family. And I was working for this construction company. They moved me up as a labor supervisor. I was doing great, making a lot of money, doing a nice home, nice car, you know what I'm saying? Doing my thing, man. Got back out there again, Justin. Got back out there again. And when I got back out there again, it got worse. It got worse. It got worse. It got worse. And then when it got worse, I caught a charge, man. I caught another charge.
Add on top of the other.
On the ad on top of the other one. After that, I already did
Right.
7.5 years of the same charge that I done get caught.
So you got the same.
I got another armed robbery charge on my belt.
Right.
But watch God. I go do 6 months in the county jail, something like that, 6 months, 4 months, or whatever. Look at God.
Right.
And I get deep in the word. And let me tell you something, man. And I over there in Aberdeen, Mississippi, let me back up. I'm doing. It's gonna make you laugh. I was working with the construction company that I built the jailhouse that I was in.
And didn't even know it at the time, did you?
Listen,
God was preparing all that.
do you hear me? I helped build the jail. I'm talking about from the
Right.
floor
From the
up.
floor up.
I helped build this jail. I helped build it. And then here I am now sleeping in it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the devil.
Yep.
But also it was God.
Right.
Because let me tell you, armed robbery, Justin, 6 months, God wiped it out. No more. No evidence. No,
Right.
it's gone.
This is all times that God is, and the reason why I said that, it been God building it up. This is all situations that God has to set you down a minute. You know what I'm saying? He has to say, whoa, come on. I got my hand out here and you're not reaching for it. I mean, you doing your thing, but hey, big boy, I'm gonna set you down here.
Sit you down for a minute.
I'm gonna put it to where you have to listen.
That you have to listen.
Because sometimes, we're hard-headed like that. And sometimes God has to show
That's right.
us
Still is.
right. Sometimes God has to say, "Hey, sit down. I got to correct you.
Right.
I got something I got to tell you, and you're not.
And
you're not listening to what I'm trying to
listening.
say."
So go sleep where you built.
Right.
I'm gonna put you in the same place you
Right.
built.
Same place you built.
I'm gonna put you in it.
I got a place for you.
Yeah, he got a place for me. So 6 months, man, God,
But God.
He removed that out of me. Get back out, Justin, do the same thing over again. Start back repeatedly getting high. And man, so Vincent, I'm out in addiction, man, coming in and out of the house, coming in and out me and my wife's house, and all of a sudden, when I come in one night, man, and man, look here, man, thank God for my son. And she laid the pregnancy test on the table. And I really thought that was going to change my life,
right.
man. I get my wife
Got a son on the way.
Got a son on the way, man. This is it right here.
Right.
This is it. You know what I'm saying? Start getting back into that routine. Start getting back into church and start doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
There I go again. I took my hand out of God's hand. And
That's
I slipped
that same
away.
cycle.
Same
again.
cycle went on over again. And went all over again. And it's got deeper this time,
Right.
Justin.
Because when he was holding his hand out, and you let go, because we know that God didn't go anywhere. You let go. Satan was always there, picking you up,
Picking me up, man.
picking you up and taking you off.
And you
into
know
the
what?
wilderness.
You know what the bad part of the thing about this, man?
What's that?
People's in addiction, or people's in a circumstance. They realize when they really think, you praying God, thank you for getting me out of this. Thank you for helping me this right here.
Right.
And all the same time, we still in our mess. We still in our mess.
Right.
And the devil studied. Man, the devil helping us
Oh yeah.
out of our mess. Putting us in some more mess.
Right.
But we praying to God,
We praying
and we
to God.
thinking
Right.
God, not saying he ain't taking his hand off us,
Right.
but we thinking that, hey, God helping me through this here, I can do a little more.
Right. Right.
You feel where I'm
I
coming
feel what
from?
you're saying.
That's where I was at, man.
Right.
I thought because I was doing this and I was getting out of it, and God was helping. I thought God was helping me out of it. And what, man? Look,
Right.
the devil
Right.
will hear your prayer the same way.
Right.
The devil hear you when you pray.
He was making you feel good.
He
about
was making me
yourself.
feel good about
Right.
it. So I kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper in it. So at that time, Justin, man, Vincent was born in 2003. And so when he was born, so me and Stephanie packed up and went back towards south. And I started working for the Miller Pipeline. And I started making a lot of money, and I started doing the same thing over again, Justin. Over again. I got a son now. It ain't nothing changed, man.
Still the same scenario.
It's the same thing. So I'm broke, disgusted. You know what I'm saying? And my wife, depressed. You know what I'm saying? I got this baby boy. I got to get it right. So all at the same time, now watch this right here, man. God just gave me this right here. Just showed me what happened. I'm working for Enterprise. You hear me? My auntie, man, she's a full-grown, blow, believer. Do you understand me?
Right.
She speak the word of gospel. She teach the word. She preach the word. She believe in healing. She believe in the gifts of God. She believe that.
Right.
And let me tell you something. One day I got off work, man, down there in Enterprise, Mississippi, and I wasn't drinking. I just got off work, Justin. My mama gave me a 1978 T-Bird. And I drive that back and forth to work from Lewin to Enterprise. I get off work one day, Justin, and when I get off work, I'm coming down to Enterprise, Mississippi. I'm doing like a 55 mile zone. I'm doing like a 45 mile.
Right.
I'm doing about 45 miles per hour here. I seen this little girl on a 4-wheeler. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Coming across by here to that door, and when I got up to her, I said, "Man, this girl, I hope she don't cross this road." She crossed the road, man, and I hit her. Oh yeah, man, I hit her with my car, and next thing I know that I kind of turned my wheel a little bit, and I went off the road, turned the car upside down. Man, I got out. The little girl was laying in the ditch. When I walked over there, Justin, I didn't see her leg.
Oh man!
I didn't see, but guess what? I didn't see her leg. I didn't see no blood. I'm like, man, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? I mean, this little girl, the mama, and the way she was trying to cross from the store over to her house. Right. But you know how you be driving down your pavilion, you can see people on the other. Right. You can see them in the yard. But when I turned, clipped her, throw it off the 4-wheeler, and I ran up there and I see her leg. And all of a sudden, and man, they came out to call the police and everything, man, and all this right here. And police got there, put me in the back of the car, asked me some questions, ran my name. And the man said, "Well, you Clay County got some warrants for your arrest, don't you?" I said, "Man, I kind of figured that. I got a little speed team down there." He said, "Yeah." And closed the door. They went over there and talked to the little girl parents, and them people came, the parent and the police came to the back seat of the police car. You know what I'm saying? They rolled the window down. No, they didn't open the door. Right. And the police said, "You know what, man? It's your lucky day today." He said, "Now, that little girl daddy right here telling me he saw the whole thing." He said, "If she been crossing that road every day, crossing that road, we've been telling her to stay off that 4-wheeler. Yeah. Be careful crossing that road." And he said, "This is God, man. This is what I'm saying. This is what God is doing." And he said, "This is your lucky day." He told me they looked at this whole incident and they seen you tried to avoid this accident. Right. He said, "But we're not going to charge you for hitting this little girl." He said, "But you got to fix this situation with Clay County." He said, "I'll let you go home right now if you promise me." Look at God, man. Look at God, right. Man. I'm still stuck. So I called my uncle and them or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They let me call the police. Call my uncle and them and whatever. So I told them back at home what was going on. Come get me out the car and all. It turned over and everything. Man, them police went over and turned my car over and put it back on the thing. See what it back on the tires, back on the wheels or whatever, and they see that they're cranking. They pull that thing out of there, man, on the side of the car. Man, I was so near I couldn't drive home anyway. I had somebody else drive it, but it crunk and everything. But this is what I'm saying, Justin. The man let me go home by the grace of God. Right. Okay? That night, Justin, my auntie, I'll never forget it, man. She said, "You going to church with me tonight?" It was over in Bay Spring, Mississippi. I'll never forget it, man. They had a prophet to come down to Bay Spring City Hall, and me and my auntie was there. And let me tell you something, man. Do you understand me what I'm finna tell you? So I'm sitting there in the front seat. This man is prophesying over peoples. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't never seen this
They
man
never
in my
saw
life.
nothing, right.
Never seen him. Never. He don't know me. He don't know me. I don't know him. And I had a cousin in the back, and he don't even know my cousin.
Right.
And so he prophesied some stuff over my cousin, and I'm just sitting there, man. And I was like this right here, Lord, man. I do not hope this man missed me.
Right. And then bam.
And bam, he said, "Young man, stand up."
Uh-oh.
So I stood up, and he started praying over me, praying. And let me tell you something. He said, "Man, you've been blessed today, ain't you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You know." He said, "No." He said, "You've been in a situation today that it could have took your whole life away from you." Yeah.
Right.
Man, I broke down and started crying, and I started praying. I started thanking God. I don't know this man.
Right.
That very night, when I went home and laid down and prayed, God told me this right here. He said, "You will be preaching to people of your background." He said, "You will be speaking to people of your background."
And at this time, you thinking, what in the world you talking about?
Just I didn't
Not
know.
me, huh?
Not me.
Right.
Not me. But still, guess what?
What's that?
Got back in my mess. Got back, started back doing what I had to do. Moved my family back up in North Mississippi, Justin. Got into some more trouble. Had to go do 7 years this time.
So this is all, what, 16 years total? Is that right?
16 years total of my life, man. 7, and you know, doing all this time, you know, doing out on bond and going this way, you know how the system works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, man? You end up with me and my wife ended up with 4 beautiful kids together. You know what I'm saying, man? But this time in West Point, I caught this charge, man, this burglary charge, and they gave me 7 mandatory years. They offered, look at God, they offered, this was my plea bargain. My plea bargain, man, was life sentence.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my plea bargain was a life sentence. And I'm like, man, no, a life sentence? I said, man, I ain't killed nobody.
Right.
He said, yeah, but your record shows that you're a menace to society. You are dangerous to this community, and the man want to give you a life sentence. He said, you probably need to call your peoples and let them know that what's going on. I did not call my peoples, man. I went in the room and I prayed in this little room. My wife was at the park on Little Vincent. They was at the park. I told them he was going to the park out there in West Point. And I went in that little room and I prayed, man. And I asked God, and I said, Lord, I said, man, I want to be punished because what the things that I done, the
Right.
things that I done, people's I done hurt, people's, you know what I'm saying, I done tucked down and drug through the mud. I said, I want to be punished for the things that I done wrong. I said, Lord, but I can't do a life sentence.
Right.
I said, I cannot do a life sentence, Lord. I said, punish me. I said, punish me for this, but don't let them give me a life sentence. They did a research. They did a break. They went on break, man, a recess, and they come back, and I said, man, I can't do a life sentence, man. I went in there and talked to the DA myself. I went in there and talked to the DA and talked to a couple more of the people who were up in there, and I was explaining to them. I said, man, you know, I did it. I'm sorry, but I got a family, I got a little boy, whatever, and they told me to come back that following day, and I come back. They offered me 7 years. I told them where I need to sign at.
Right.
I signed for them 7 years, man, and that right there changed my life. That rip right there changed my life. When God gave it to me, man, God gave me, 7 years. I asked for that. I asked God.
Right.
I said, God, correct me, punish me.
Right.
But when I realized when God gave me those years to go do in prison, man, and my wife and my kid, my wife and my kids, they was there for me, and they and still there for me. And during my incarceration, excuse me, and during my incarceration, man, you know what I'm saying, I was still plugged into the organization, man.
Right.
went through Rankin County, man, and started praying and started having prayer meetings in the middle of the pods and everything, man. All the organizations members used to come through there, man, and they man, through my prayer that God give me and through my gift that God have gave me, man, people was getting saved.
Right.
And I was loving that. And I was like, wow, God, thank you. And man, you know, things going, you know, start looking up to me right there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was doing pretty good right there, doing what God wanted me to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just look back at my past, God had gave me chances after chances after chances after chances. That's how great God is.
Right.
That's how great He is, Justin.
Right.
And
He's a God of first, second, third, fourth, however many chances.
right.
You know, He's always there for us.
So time went on, Justin, man, and I thought, 7 years, did 7 years, man, get out again. You know what I mean? Hey, man, I made another bump. I did it again. I did it again, man. I got really tired of it, man. And I said, man, Lord, why is I keep making this mistake? Why I keep going back to this situation? Why I keep going back and get high? Why? You know what I'm saying? Me over in Broken. So after this time, I went to a place over here in Nelson, Mississippi, Broken Line Ministry, man. And when I went there, Justin, man, I know God done called me to speak. God done called me to teach His word. God done called me to, man, listen, man, without pain, it won't be no testimony.
That's it.
It won't be no, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
you know.
The mountain ain't nowhere near as glorious without the valley.
That's right, man. So
gotta go through valleys in
that's
our life.
right. So this what I'm saying to everybody here right now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about my past. It's about the future where God done put me
That's right.
and put you and put the others there who is obeying God. And so, man, I was down there in Skyline, Mississippi, man, two and a half years ago, and I said, Lord, I'm not leaving this altar until I get delivered. I said, I'm tired of hurting people. I'm tired of hurting myself. I'm tired of not being a father. I'm tired of not being a husband to my wife. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of it. And I'm not leaving this altar until I get delivered. I'm snotty nose teared up, Justin, in Skyline, Mississippi.
Pouring it all.
Pouring it all out to him. I said, I'm not leaving this altar until I get delivered. And all of a sudden, man, the Holy Spirit hit me. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, He gave me the gift of speaking in different languages and that very night. And it was amazing what God done that night for me. And when in the spirit, man, when I was getting delivered, listen to me, Justin. When I was getting delivered, I was in a delivering room right there, man. God was turning some stuff off of me, man. I'm seeing it with my spiritual eyes. You hear me? I'm seeing it. I'm seeing them changes falling off me, Justin. You know what I'm saying? I mean, anger was falling off me. Addiction was falling off me. Man, and madness. And the main, man, when I got ready to get up off my knees, man, or somebody helped me up off my knees, and I seen on the left side of that altar, it was a pile of chains this tall, man. Do you understand me? I looked to my right. This ain't no lie. I looked to the right. It was a big chain with a prism ball on it, and it had this word right here: selfish.
Oh.
God was showing me out of all these times that I was doing my thing, man. I wasn't thinking about nobody else but me. Didn't care who I hurt, didn't care who I destroyed, didn't care what it take. Sky's the limit for me.
Long as I was happy.
Long I was happy. 2.5 years ago, that was happened. And when I got up and I seen that chain say selfish, man, look, I never looked back, brother.
Right.
I never looked back. And God said, you send me and I went back and said, God said, you will be speaking to peoples of your background. I said, man, I know where. I said, man, I got to get a gun now, a knife and everything. But anyway, so I said, man, peoples of my background, who I'm going to be speaking to? Tell you who I speak to now. I go in Monroe County jails and I give them brothers hope.
That's right.
Through Christ Jesus. The word of God said on 2 Corinthians, it said, you are a new creation, created in Christ Jesus.
That's it.
Man, we are new. We are created new now. Old things have been passed away. I don't live like that no more. So I go into, and so now, as time went on, and man, and I was trying to, and I said, man, God kept giving me this. God kept giving me this word, stand. And then so we went to Tupelo, and we went to Tupelo at Anchor Church, man.
Right.
And my friend Bubble, a preacher, didn't even know him. That first day, me and him just hooked up like a hand in a glove, and he was, Chris Payne was a very close friend of ours, introduced me to Bubble.
Right.
And Bubba said, man, how you doing? He said, man, what's your ministry? What is your ministry? He said, man, I heard a lot of great things about what God doing for you, what he done to do. He said, what's your ministry called? I said, man, you know what? God always been giving me this word, stand. I don't know where to go with it, but he's saying stand. Right. And he said, man, you ever thought about it? He said, go over there and read over in Galatians 5:1. He said, one of the translations is going to tell you this right here. Stand, Galatians 5:1, it says, you never have to go, stand firm. You never have to go back to that yoke of bondage no more. Right. I was like, wow.
That's it.
I was like, wow. Stand firm.
That's it.
So that's where the ministry come from.
Stand firm ministry
come from.
That's awesome.
And not just that, it's just the verse. You never have to put the yoke of bondage on no more.
Right.
So if anybody out there dealing with addiction, dealing with depression, dealing with anger, dealing with selfishness, dealing with madness, just chaos, you understand me? Galatians 5:1. You never have to put that bondage on no more. You never have to take that stuff on no more. You never have to do that no more. Long as you stand firm and let Jesus Christ be your guide.
That's it.
And Justin, this is what I say right here. Every morning in my life now. Thank you, Lord, for delivering me. Thank you, Lord, for delivering me. I was a mess, Justin.
Right.
I was a.
But hey, he turns messes into messages.
Right.
And that's what he's doing.
And man, look, I don't care. These tears is tears of joy.
Right.
Because now, when I told my wife I'm going to do this right here, she know I'm coming back.
Right. She knows.
Years ago, she know, man, yeah, I won't see him in about 4 to 5 more weeks.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. If anybody out there dealing with that stuff, man, it's a way out. But the only way out is through Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. That's it, man.
This ain't my story. It's with Jesus' story.
Yeah. He just lets you play a part
of it. He just let me play a part of it.
That's it.
He let me play a part of it, brother.
And Vince, there's nothing that he ain't already saw. There's no battle that he ain't already won. All we got to do is trust. We got to trust in him that he'll do what he says. And he's got a table that we can pour it all out. Whatever that we're going through in our lives, he tells us to him. You know, a lot of times though, we have self in the way. Our pride gets there. You know, we're too worried about what we're gonna do. You know, instead of what God's gonna do through us.
Yeah.
And man, Vince, it's an honor, man. Just to know you, be able to serve the Lord with you. Man, you're
man, you don't know. Hey, not cutting you off, but look, man, you know how all this began.
Oh man, yeah.
That's why I say, man, God is putting pieces together for his army.
God's building an army. What did I say the other day? Kingdom army.
That's right.
He's
and just
that kingdom army.
Man, this is for a reason, not for a season,
right.
man.
That's it. That's it.
And man, you just don't know.
We
It's
got
an
to keep
honor.
on keeping on.
That's right.
That's it.
It's a pleasure and it's an honor, man, to be a part of what's going on at the church.
At the church, right?
You know what I'm saying? It's a part of. I mean, it's a blessing and an honor, man. To when I first walked up in this place, do you understand me? It was love.
Right.
It wasn't no show. It wasn't no.
show.
It wasn't no. It wasn't no. Who is he? You know, who is that?
Right.
Man, it was all so welcome, man. Y'all welcome my whole family.
It's people in a relationship.
In a
not
relationship and not a religion.
That's it, man. We do life together, and that's what I tell anybody, man. This is a family. I mean, we're the family of God. That's what we do is we don't just come to church on Sunday nights,
Wednesday night, that's right.
Hey, we do this together.
Together.
Man, we got a men's group message, and that dude goes off all day, every day,
and early in the morning.
Right, and that's it. But that's what it's about.
Accountability.
Right, accountability. You know that no matter what you're going through, Vince, no matter how bad of a day that I have, sometimes just that encouraging text on that. Love you, brother. Hope you have a blessed
That's right.
day.
That's
You know?
right.
Man,
You don't care if it's
somebody needs to hear that.
That's right, man.
I mean, even though
That's
it may
right.
get 10 more likes and hearts and thumbs up and everything else, but in all realness, man, I mean, that's what we need. We need those accountability
Right,
partners.
right.
We need those brothers and sisters to do this life with, to
That's
build
right,
this
man.
army, to continue to serve Him, and to reach a lost and dying world. That's what. I mean, that's what these videos are about.
Right.
Man, it's nothing about what I'm doing.
That's right,
about
man.
about the story that,
Yeah,
that God allowed you to be in
Yeah.
and play a part in. It's all to bring glory and honor
That's
to
it.
God,
That's it.
to God Almighty. I mean, man,
That's it.
if nothing else ever comes out of this,
I don't. You know
that's what
what?
it's
dude?
about. I don't want anything out of it.
Out of this video, if one person, God touched one person out of it,
It was all worth it.
it was all worth it, man.
That's it.
One person.
That's it.
You know, I don't. Like you said, we don't do this stuff for no show.
Right.
We do it for the glory of
For
God.
the glory of God.
Because there's people's out there right now, just like you and I, want to come out of their mess,
That's it.
but they so trapped up
They're
in
so
depression,
trapped in.
so trapped up in
They don't see a way out,
They don't see a
Vince.
way out. But it's a way out. It's a way out, and the way out is Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. That's it. That's it.
Real people, real situation, real talk.
That's it. Man, it's an honor to have you tonight, Vince. Man, I knew bits and pieces of your story.
You still my friend?
Oh man, yeah. Man. It was more like watching the movie. I'm visualizing all this, like your movie's playing in my head.
Yeah.
But man, just to see, you know, where the Lord's taking you from and what He's doing today, and your ministry, Stand Firm Ministries, man.
Thank God.
I pray God continue to move in a mighty way through that. You know, that's why God gives us these stories, and a lot of times our stories are similar, but there's uniqueness about it. Because Vince, you'll reach people. You'll reach those people that are looking for a little hope. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're stuck in that mess. They're reliving that cycle over and over again because that's all they know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then here comes Vince Hayes, this guy that's coming to speak to me. You know, I know me and Brother Jeff and Drew went and spoke at Lee County, and that's kind of the way that, I don't know about them, I had never been, but I kind of took it that, man, these guys is just going to come because it's going to be something to do on Friday night. You know, it gets them out of that cell and they can come see somebody.
Right.
You know, but man, by the end of it, those guys that come in, that's all hard and they got their arms crossed and all this, and you think, man, they could care less about what I'm about to say. By the end of it, every one of them
Talk
had
to
opened up and talking to you and asking questions, and we found out that even though they're in there, they're still going through some of the same situations that we are in life,
Right.
or where we've been.
Right.
know?
Right.
And it makes you. It makes you feel good to know that when you're in that place,
Mm-hmm.
that somebody's standing on the other side because they've already been through this. And that's the way God is. God's already he's already defeated this, man.
Right.
You know, and he's standing on the other side, like, you know, I got this.
I
man.
got this.
All you gotta do is trust me.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
You know, but man, it's
Matter of
an honor,
fact,
brother.
listen, this Sunday, you know, I work with some guys at the landfill down there,
Right.
man, and they very excited, you know what I'm saying, me for this Sunday at 1 o'clock. This Sunday at 1 o'clock. This is open to the public, you know what I'm saying. This Sunday at 1 o'clock, you know what I'm saying. Me, we are going, or whoever want to go with me, to the Monroe County Jail and share the gospel. You know what I'm saying, man, with these brothers. This be my first trip going back into the jail for 2020. You know what I'm saying, I mean, because of technicalities, but God worked that out too.
Right.
So Sunday at 1 o'clock, if you want to go, man, you
Okay,
can come on.
man,
We can go
yeah,
down
it'll be
there,
an honor.
and we can go down there, man,
Right.
and we can have a Holy Ghost party.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Well, y'all, man, y'all continue liking our Facebook page, our YouTube page. I can't thank you enough for all the comments. Man, y'all like and share these.
Please do.
Y'all, let's continue to get the word of God out there. Somebody needs to hear Vince's story or God's story that Vince got to play a part in. But somebody needs to hear this. Y'all, it's been an honor to be with y'all tonight, and y'all continue to trust in Him. Y'all have a blessed night. It's been real people, real situations, and real talk.
Amen.